The cold wind of November night swept across the small Russian village of Vysokovo as the bells of the local church rang 3 times. Inside a modest wooden house, the cries of a newborn filled the air, followed by another, and another. The midwife, her wrinkled hands trembling, dropped the towel she was holding. "Bose Moj," she whispered in disbelief, staring at the young mother before her. The 23-year-old girl, pale yet glowing, had just given birth to triplets, 3 children unlike any she had ever seen. Their eyes shimmered like liquid gold, their skin soft as light itself, and an inexplicable warmth filled the room, chasing away the winter's chill. Her name was Alina Petrova, a quiet orphan who had lived all her life in the shadow of others' pity. She was the girl no one noticed, the one who worked long hours at the bakery and went home to an empty room. No one knew much about her except that she was kind, always smiling through her loneliness. So when she was seen pregnant without a husband, the whispers began. Some said she was cursed. Others claimed she had been visited by something not human. But Alina stayed silent. She had seen things that no one would believe, dreams of light, a voice whispering, "They are chosen." The triplets, 2 boys and a girl, were not ordinary from the moment they opened their eyes. They didn't cry for food like other babies, they seemed to understand her, their gazes deep and ancient. The midwife had run out into the night shouting about miracles and omens, and by morning, half the village had gathered outside Alina's home. Some came with gifts, others with fear in their hearts. They called them the million-year children, for legends told of beings born only once in a million years, destined to change the world's fate. Alina held her children close, refusing to let anyone take them from her sight. As weeks turned to months, strange things began to happen. Flowers bloomed in the snow outside her window. Sick villagers recovered overnight after seeing the babies. And once, when lightning struck the old oak tree near the river, it split but did not burn. Instead, it grew new leaves, shimmering silver under the moonlight. Scientists from Moscow came, priests from the church, and even men in black suits with government insignias. They all wanted to see them, study them, control them. But Alina refused every offer, hiding her children in the forest cabin her late mother had once lived in. Life was not easy there, but she felt peace. The children grew fast, too fast. By the time they were 1 year old, they looked like 3-year-olds, walking, speaking, and asking questions that pierced her soul. "Mama," said the little girl, Mila, one evening as they watched the stars. "Why do people fear us?" Alina sighed, tears forming in her eyes. "Because they don't understand light, my love. And people often fear what they don't understand." Mila smiled softly, her tiny hand glowing faintly in the dark, lighting her mother's tears. One cold morning, soldiers arrived. They surrounded the cabin, demanding Alina to surrender the children. She clutched them tight, heart pounding, as a commanding officer stepped forward. "You must understand," he said sternly. "These children are not human. They are property of the state." Alina's body trembled, but her eyes blazed with maternal fire. "They are my children," she whispered. "Not yours. Not the state's. Mine." When the soldiers advanced, a blinding light erupted from the cabin, knocking them all to the ground. When the smoke cleared, Alina and the children were gone. For months, no one could find them. News spread across the world about the woman of light and her miraculous children. Some called her a prophet, others a criminal. But in truth, Alina and her children had fled deep into the Ural Mountains, living in caves surrounded by untouched wilderness. There, she taught them about love, kindness, and humanity, the very things the world seemed to have forgotten. They healed wounded animals, turned dry rivers into flowing streams, and sang songs that made the stars shimmer brighter at night. But destiny has a way of finding even those who hide from it. One evening, Mila came to her mother with a serious expression. "Mama, it's time," she said softly. Alina felt a chill. "Time for what, my heart?" Mila looked at her brothers, who stood beside her, their golden eyes glowing. "Time to give back what we were given. The world is breaking, and we can fix it." Alina shook her head, fear gripping her heart. "You're just children." But Mila's reply was calm, mature beyond her years. "We are what the world made us." The next morning, Alina woke to find the cabin empty. Panic surged through her veins as she ran outside, screaming their names. Then she saw it, the sky, burning with gold and silver light. The mountains trembled, the rivers sang, and for the first time in centuries, the air felt alive. Her children stood on the peak, hands joined, light pouring from them into the earth. She tried to reach them, but the light was too bright. Mila, don't leave me, she cried. Mila turned, her voice echoing in the wind. We'll never leave you, Mama. We'll be everywhere, the light, the rain, the dawn. When the light faded, the world was changed. The long droughts ended. Wars paused. Diseases disappeared overnight. People looked to the sky and wept, feeling peace like never before. Alina fell to her knees, heart shattered yet full of pride. She knew her children were gone, but not lost. They had become part of everything beautiful, every living thing on earth. Villagers who once mocked her now came to honor her, calling her the Mother of Light. Yet Alina never sought fame. She only wished to feel her children's warmth one last time. Years passed, and Alina aged gracefully, her once dark hair now silver as moonlight. Every night, she would walk to the same mountain peak where her children had vanished, bringing flowers and whispering lullabies to the stars. One evening, as she closed her eyes, she felt a familiar warmth surround her. The scent of lilac filled the air. She opened her eyes, and there they were. Mila, and her brothers, smiling, radiant, eternal. Mama, Mila said gently, it's time to come home. Tears streamed down Alina's face as she reached for them. The world below glowed faintly as dawn approached, painting the sky gold. When the villagers climbed the mountain the next morning, they found no trace of her, only a bed of blooming white flowers where she had last stood. From that day, the mountain was called Svetlomater, Mother of Light. Pilgrims from across the world came to pray, not to a goddess, but to a mother whose love had saved humanity. Centuries later, people still tell her story. Some say, during storms, you can hear a mother's voice whispering through the wind. Others claim that when a child is born with golden eyes, it's a sign the light is returning. But one truth remains eternal: love, pure and selfless, holds the power to change the world. For in the heart of a 23-year-old girl once forgotten by everyone, burned the light of creation itself, a light that never truly fades.